What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on this Precumbens Nana. Some of the wires are starting to cut in. I wired it in March, just trying to get some basic shape, because what I'm planning on doing is this whole piece back here, the back side of it. We're going to be stripping all the bark off of it, turning a lot of this into gin, and maybe continuing a little line of shari up onto the trunk, and hopefully coming around to what is now the front up here. So the reason I'm doing it now is, if you look in here, right here, the wire is actually starting to cut in to the bark. So I'm going to go in here, take all the wire off of it. There's several different ways that you can do, well, two major ways that you can do that. You can come along and everywhere just snip, cut it, and remove. So you cut a piece here, cut this down, and remove. Like that, and you're left with just little pieces of wire. Or you can come in and just support the branch and carefully unwind. So you're grabbing it and unwinding as you go. And that's what I'm going to be doing mostly with this, like I said, because it is starting to bite in. So if you look at it here, right here, you can see where the wire was biting. Caught this in time, so it's not going to leave too bad of a scars. That's really not going to be a problem, because a lot of this, like I said, this part, which is where most of the biting is happening, is actually going to get cut off. So I'm going to go in, remove all of the wire, and I'll catch y'all back on the front side when I'm done. Alright, what's up, y'all? I'm back. All the wires off. Basically all of the branches set, except for this guy right here. Just needs to be rotated a little bit more. I might be able to fake it for a while. Put that in there. But yeah, we've got step-up pads and step-up pads here as well. And now we get to take care of this bad boy back here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'll cut off all the green. And then we'll go from there. Any of these that are going to be too small to gin, I'll just snip off the whole branch like that. So we'll get in here, get all the green, snip, snip, snip. And when I got this the first time, I mean, it had a lot of stuff coming up here off the back, but I really thought that this was the best front. And I had this big, massive branch that it's just too old to set. It was already set in its ways. It would be real hard to bend without using like a trunk splitter. And I've only been doing this for a year. I'm not real, I wasn't real confident that I would be able to just snip the trunk and it would miraculously be okay. So I decided what I was going to do was wire this out into this kind of craggly little bit and then gin it off. And so we'll have some little split gins. A lot of this will get, like this is too small, but what we'll do is we'll grab this and use that to tear up the branch. here. I had already done a little bit of gin work in here in the back, and now what we're going to be doing is just finishing up the rest of this. So as soon as I get all of this cut off, we'll get into that. So now we have this branch that somehow it died off in the. If you saw it in nature, it would have just, somehow this thing died off. But the rest of the tree just made it. So, that kind of. All right. So that's the basic shape of that's the basic shape of the structure. And now what we're going to do is, starting here out at the tips, we're going to go in with our gin pliers and squeeze the bark, and then just pull it back. And if you do this during the spring, early summer, even into late summer, the the bark has not set yet. The cambium hadn't set, so you get these. It's basically just like a wrapper around the actual wood of the tree, and you just give it a little bit of a squeeze, and it separates that cambium from the inner wood, and then you can just pull it off like a sock. And like I said, a lot of these little piddly things probably not going to stay. Like some of this probably will, but these two little tiny ones right here definitely, well, I don't want to say definitely won't. I might leave them there just to see what happens, and then just gradually over time as they die off, just let them come off naturally. It also gives it a little bit more semblance of size by having those little tiny ones. I mean, normally when you're out in nature and you see something with dead branches on it, The small branches that are still there, especially once you go ahead and paint it with lime sulfur, which we'll do in probably about a month. I want to give them a little bit of time to weather a little bit naturally. That way, they look like they have a little bit more age on them, and it's not just that somebody came in, mashed the cambium off the trunk or off the limb, and just pulled it off. You know, that way they have a little bit of striations and pitting, and you can kind of see in this one there's a little bit of weathering that's happened to it. I haven't painted any of the gens on any of the gens or the shari on this tree yet. And when I did these, it was end of March, maybe beginning of April. It might have been the first week of April when I did that. But yeah, in about a month, they've gotten a good bit of weathering on them. So I'll give these about that same amount of time towards the end of the month, 1st of July, somewhere in there, when I'll come back in. And we'll go ahead and hit them with the lime sulfur. But as we sit here and pull it back, that white really the inner wood really stands out against the darkness of both the soil and the rest of the tree, the trunk and the foliage. Yeah, comes off fairly easy. And then we come back over here and do the whole process with this side. Just squeeze up the trunk. If you have bigger limbs, like up here, we'll probably squeeze here and vertical, so you kind of get a little bit more separation there as well. But with these smaller ones, it's not really necessary. Just going in one direction basically is enough. And if over the next month or so any of these start to pop up into a place that I don't want them, I can always just grab a guy wire and come back to one of these little roots and drag it down to where it wants to be. But I like where that one is right now. I like where all of these have sat right now. Like I said, the only part of this tree that didn't really take the wire to set with the wire is this one, and that's really just a rotational thing. So I'll be able to rotate this up, bring it in, and combine it with this to have that defined pad. Might just take that off and bring this in. But that'll be towards the end of summer, going into the fall, once they really dormant. And that way I don't have to worry about the wires cutting in before spring again. Because I mean, like I said, when you put the wire on, and then if you do it before the growing season, you have to be on top of it, or you will get a lot of nasty wire scars on there, just because you're in the middle of the growing season and it's got this wire constricting it. So any of these, all of this is about where we're going to find out. And there's a little bit of a striation on the inner wood. It's not too bad though. You can kind of see it right here. Right there. So far that's the only spot that I've seen any. is just on this one little branch that came out and then came back around. That's probably because of the severe bend that I put in it. This one I've got to be careful. This one split when I was wiring it earlier. Well, not split when I was wiring it. Well, yes, it split when I wired it earlier in the year, so in March. The branch survived, which is nice. But yeah, you can see it split right there. So the live vein was over here, keeping it alive. This might wind up breaking off, and so it'll just be these four main limbs. We'll see if I can't keep this one around, though. I would like to. I guess these two back here I've still got to do as well. And just get in here and peel it out. And then because we know that this was feeding all of this down here, if we grab it, oh, it broke. But basically what we'll do when we get up to here is this part on the underside we'll take and we'll just peel it slowly down the trunk and see what kind of turn we get over here. Like if we can get it to come up and around over the top of the trunk, that would be ideal. But if not, we'll have to just come in every year and widen that shari out a little bit so that it widens, but we don't take off too much all at one time, that it doesn't have time to reroute any nutrients that were supposed to be coming up into this trunk, this branch or this branch or this branch. That way we keep this as healthy as possible so that it stays green and doesn't die off, and we don't have a whole bunch more gin work to do, because this is basically the final shape of that I want. And then it's just coming in and clipping back a little bit and getting more ramification up into these higher branches. And the last one, come in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And we grab and peel. You see that one broke off a little bit. We can just tear it down and we're all good. And now we just have the main trunk to do. But yeah, like right in here, you can actually see where part of the cambium still is. Let me grab the bamboo skewer. You can see right here, there's part of the cambium, and that's going up around. And so you know that this little bit was definitely going up and supplying this part of the tree with nutrients. Same thing over here, coming up around the branch. You know, the branch was getting fed basically right here, but the rest of the tree up past this branch, it was just bypassing around like that. So as we come in, we don't want to go too far on the top because that could be coming and supplying this stuff up here. So what we'll do is I'll come in with my knife, and over the top I'll just cut down to the wood, and that way we don't have to worry about this this cambium ripping all the way through. It just comes off right there at that cut line. So it looks like something right here split. I don't remember doing that. It could have been me though, which is fine. It just gives it a little bit more character. Yeah, I don't remember doing that. It might have been me. Get this back side of it, and then slowly pull, and we had it tear. Trying to get this all to come as one. Nope. I'm going to bring this in a little bit closer so that we can get kind of some detailed up close. There we go. That's actually better. So I come in here, Sorry for my hand being in the way. This little tab, or little stump, and there we go. So I've got this little bit started, and we're going to slowly peel down. So we start this down onto the trunk. Then slowly pull it down. And we know this was coming up here to this branch right here. And so we tear it down a little bit. We come in here and grab. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to see if we can't. Just want to grab this little tip right there. That might be it. And I'm just using the kind of sharp point of this bamboo chopstick to kind of rip down. Pull this off, and then we're going to come down. We can come up here and peel some of this cambium back and try come down a little bit deeper. Same thing here. And then just grab and slowly pull. And it doesn't look like it's going to be wrapping around to the front of the tree, unfortunately. But that's fine. As we go, what we can start to do is next year we'll kind of come in and cut another little string off and try to get it widened out. I don't want to go too high. I think I'm stuck on this side, and I'm going to have to wrap around this side of the tree and try and get some of this. Trying to look in here. You can tell this is coming straight down this way, and that's feeding this branch right here, starting right there. I can peel this back to that spot that I cut. And then as long as you're pulling down like this, you should be pretty good on not taking any of the cambium, which is the part of the tree that, or part of the trunk that feeds the spots above it. And so as we come down, yeah, it looks like that's going to be about as far as we can come in. Grab this one, see if I can widen it a little bit through here. All right, so that's what we're gonna have for now. You can kind of see it in through the trees. We may wind up coming and turning this into the front and dropping this down low to kind of give us a little bit of depth back here. And we can bring this up here like that. The apex is right here. Actually, I think that might be what we're going to do. Maybe drop this into this area. Bring this up and around. And then we've got this apex here. But right here, when I was wiring it originally, I pulled off a branch and it came all the way down. And all of this is fine. So, I like the movement of this trunk right here, where it goes back and then comes back out towards you. And you can still see this through the tree. It's just not as prominent as if it was right there in your face. So we'll go back out to the back to the wide shot. All right, so back out at the wide shot. About right there is what I was thinking of as the front. But looking through, unless you get down low, you can't really see this gen work that we just did. So maybe come in about like that. And then dropping this down low to give us a little bit of depth right here so that you can kind of see that down here, shaking it around. Get a little bit of depth right there. Keep that. And then we'll bring this one This one we can either bring down here into the foreground and then bring this up and over. And then you see this trunk kind of comes up, shoots back, and then comes back out towards us and then back up. And we can bring this up kind of as a little apex. So there, with the apex up there at the top. And then you've got this big focal piece gin. It's basically the entire branch is preserved. Might wind up seeing if I can't grab a guy wire, bring it down, at least bring this part down and in. But yeah, I think that may be the new look. Although looking in at it like that, it's not bad. You can see that there, and then all I would have to do is rotate that up. This apex can stay as it is, and just be more of a cloud apex. So we'll have pad there, pad here, and then bring this one down and forward. And I've got this little pad back, and actually, should we bring something out like this and like actually let this one elongate and maybe bring it out and grow it into there? Drop a comment down below if that's something that you would like to see. I'm not going to be wiring this today. Like I said, I want to give it towards the end of the growing season before I wire again, just so I don't have to worry about these bite marks, these wire scars in the bark. This should I mean, the only part where we had any cut-ins in the wood, like I said, were right here. The rest of these aren't really showing any wire scars. There's a slight one right here, but that's more just discoloration. And once we get lime sulfur on there, that discoloration you won't really be able to tell. But yeah, so that's really the only wire mark that went all the way down into the wood. So hopefully most of this will just be superficial on the bark. And as that bark, since now more water is able to go through the cambium, it might puff that up a little bit. And if not, then over the next couple of years, that should go away. It's a pretty young juniper. It's probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere around in there. When I got it, it was, he didn't, the guy, oh, by the way, shout out to Plant City Bonsai down in Georgia. That's where I got this juniper, and a few of my other ones. The tall informal upright with the 2 arms. That one's also Plant City Bonsai tree. So shout out to them. Great selection down there. He's wonderful. So yeah, so I could rotate that up, have this as the front, or this back side, bring this down, this back, and then this forward into this area right in here as it grows out. So it doesn't quite fit there yet, but over time, if we let some of these extend, we'll get down there. We could even let this one right here branch out and come out and still develop this pad a little bit up to just give us a little bit more depth in this pad. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. A or B. I'm kind of leaning to towards this one. And then when we go in and paint it in July, I may come in here with some carving tools and maybe carve into this a little bit just to give it a little bit more texture. We'll see in a month what it looks like. If I do anything like that, I'll bring y'all back so that you can look at it, watch me do it and point and laugh, or maybe I do it correctly. But yeah, get some texture in it, kind of like this, right here. This one might actually be ready to be painted. Nope, don't want to go up any higher than that. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Front side there, or front side there. I'm thinking we go about like that. Then we've got our depth back here with this one. And we can bring this one up into the apex so that we have this cloud right here with the apex here. That one will probably actually come off if we do that, just so we can see it a little bit better. And then dropping this one down here. So let me know down in the comments what you think. And just remember, when you're out there at the bench in the backyard, growing big, but keep them small.